Greetings, creeps. Welcome back to Hallowscream, radio for haunters, Halloween junkies, and the members of the UK Halloween prop making group on Facebook. We've got a fun show coming up, boils and ghouls. 5 tutorials await us in terrifying tutorials. We'll be listening to another haunting audio drama in the still unnamed new segment. And while we were meant to be having another interview this episode, it unfortunately didn't pan out. The guest I was planning to interview has just been crazy busy working on their haunt. They've got a big charity project they're working on this year, so it's totally understandable, no problems at all. We'll either have 2 interviews next time, or we'll be saving one for next year. It's one or the two. But first, I want to crawl in through your ears and infect your brains with some haunting inspirations.
Haunting Inspirations.
Kicking off this week's Haunting Inspirations, we're jumping straight into a walkthrough of Wicker Manor 2021. In this incredible near-professional level haunt, we start at the entrance to a mine, met by a kooky little miner. He leads us through the mine's entrance and onto an elevator that appears to go deeper and deeper into the mine, using a really cool homemade simulator. It's basically a big wooden box that shakes a bit to simulate the elevator's movement, and then a window in the elevator that is actually a screen plays an animation of the elevator going down deeper and deeper. Stepping from the elevator, we then enter the walkthrough proper, met by zombified miners, and this walkthrough is insane. The level of prop work, scenery work, the lighting, just the whole thing, it's nuts. Wicker Manor has easily got to be one of the best home haunts on the planet. A creepy atmosphere mixed with all of the amazing work that's put into this haunt creates something that I could only ever dream of. And if that's not inspiration for your home haunts, I really don't know what is. Next up, we're going to take a look at something a little different. We're taking inspiration from a channel called Halloween Eye and their video on scare actor makeup. It's basically a behind-the-scenes look at Anderson Farm's Terror in the Corn haunted house and corn maze, with a big focus on the makeup side of things. I thought this inclusion could be useful for those of us that might be dressing several people for their haunts. It's a 10-minute video where the first 4 or 5 minutes are spent observing the goings-on as everyone gets ready, while the second half of the video has a good look at the haunt and some of the scares. Obviously this one is a pro haunt, so it's a bit different from the normal, but I really wanted to get a good look at the makeup side of things with this one. It's definitely worth a watch anyway, if only for the second half. I've been toying with the idea of including pro haunts in this section, as I don't see why we can't draw inspiration from both home and pro haunts. I've always tried to do home haunts as that's what we do, so it just made sense. But I guess there is a lot of inspiration to be had from pro haunts too, so I'd really like your opinion on that one, guys. Lastly, we go back to some real home haunter roots with a video of White Web's Haunt's DIY haunted house. In this 14-minute video, we get a great look at how this haunt is constructed, using several gazebos, tarps, and a lot of zip ties. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit of a bodge job, but that's what makes this one a great home haunt. It's old school home haunting at its best. We have a daytime look at the haunt before going into a nighttime view that also features a good lot of scare cam. Given the very home haunt style of this haunt, it doesn't look like much in the daytime walkthrough, but it really comes to life at night, and I think that the scare cam shots really show that off. It's a great one to check out, and I really enjoyed watching it. It gave me some ideas for the future that I'm hoping to use next year, so win-win. And there we have it, creeps. That was 3 more videos to hopefully infect your brains with ideas and get the blood pumping as we enter October. I'll see you next time for more haunting inspirations.
Haunt tips.
October. Autumn is upon us. Leaves are falling from the trees, creating natural shades of oranges, yellows and browns. Summer is all but a distant memory as the temperature cools, the weather starts to change, and to top it off, there's the sweet, sweet sound of haunters screaming across the land, as they realise it's now only a matter of weeks before the big night. Just as I set that scene for you, today's Haunt Tips is going to be a look at how we can set the scene in our own haunts. More specifically, how we can make them a bit more creepy by making things seem just that little bit off, be that visually, audibly, or even by messing with something like the guest's sense of smell. For the visual, it's all about messing with perception. If you've built a walk-through haunt, maybe you have a section where the room gets smaller as you pass through it. This can really mess with how people see the room, especially with the right lighting and effects that normally come from a haunt. That messing with people's perception really ups the creep factor as your guests begin to realise that maybe they can't fully trust their senses this time. Instead of a room changing size, maybe it's wonky. Wonky walls and furniture can really help this effect. You could always have a bust or statue that's purposely been built misshapen or wonky. This again messes with the guest's perception, in much the same way as changing the size will. Or, it could be more subtle. The guest walks into a room with lots of portraits on the wall and or statues around, but every one of those portraits and or statues is facing away from the guest. We're looking at their backs, or perhaps they just don't have faces at all. Little things like that can really up the creep factor. We're used to paintings and statues that look directly at us, or at the very least we can see their faces clearly. So when that changes, things just feel off. It doesn't feel right, and that just adds the sense of dread that you want in your haunt. You want your guests to feel afraid, and that sense of unease and dread just ups that fear level. It makes them more jumpy, and in turn, you get more of the result that you wanted. When it comes to the audio, there is again a few things that you can do to make things creepier. Pick a song that's completely out of place. Imagine walking into a butcher scene. You've got some evil butcher in a bloodied pig mask hacking away at an unfortunate victim. It's a pretty scary scene for your guests to have to pass through already, right? Well, imagine all that while It's a Small World After All from Disneyland is playing in the background. It's completely out of place. It makes no sense playing it in that scene, but the fact it doesn't make any sense will flag up in the guest's mind as they hear it, and that feeling of unease will increase. If you're able to edit, you can slow down or even speed up a song. Perhaps you record some stuff and add it to the song, or just add some weird sounds over it. Perhaps you're in a room with a particular song playing, but every now and then the creepy voice of a ghostly girl can be heard. It's enough to throw the guest out, and again it puts them even more on edge as they continue through your haunt. One more thing you can also add is smells. I don't necessarily have the know-how on how to make that work, but I know it can be done. You can always add scents to certain areas of your haunt. This doesn't mess with perception the same way the previous examples do. Where sound and visual stuff helped things get more disorientating, the smells add to the realism. Got a carnival with a bunch of scary clowns? Then add the smells of candy floss and popcorn, for example. This one makes it feel like the people are in more of a real situation, and that vivid reminder that they're in fact in a haunt makes it even more uncomfortable. Again, upping the creep factor. At the end of the day, haunt fiends, we all want good haunts that provide the scares people come to us looking for. So, I really hope this in some ways helped you achieve that, or at the very least you've learned something. As always, we'll be back with even more next time, so make sure you come back here for even more haunt tips.
Wretched with you.
Welcome back to the Amphitheatre Creeps. In this week's double feature spooktacular, we'll be taking a look at Marvel Cinematic Universe's new monster film Werewolf by Night, but first, we'll be taking a look at the Foo Fighters horror comedy Studio 666.
Foo Fighters! You gotta get me a record.
It's our 10th album. We gotta break the mold on this one. Up top. Let's go somewhere we've never been.
This place is amazing.
Do you guys get this overwhelming sense of death? Whoa. Doesn't really seem like the right fit. Whoa, that's rad. That was weird. The sound of this house is the sound of album 10.
All right, you guys, amps, living room.
Let me apologize in advance for all the rock we're about to make.
Got a couple of ideas I've been working on. I'll lay them on you. Dude, wait.
It's called Everlong, and you wrote it about 20 years ago.
How you feeling? Everything okay?
Ever since we moved into this house, my mind is flooded.
We all have writer's block.
This is not just a creepy rock and roll house. But it allows spiritual entities to cross into our world.
Oh my God! Dude has got one flew over the cuckoo's nest crazy.
It's this place, man.
Let's finish the track.
Can't we just wait, dude?
Play the drums.
You found a new musical note?
Yes, I did.
It's an L.
Any chefs in the group?
I'm pretty handy on a grill.
Yeah, you like your meat charred and dry.
He does make a killer barbecue.
What do we do?
We go save his ass.
Is the album almost done?
Yeah, it's killer.
Here you go, man. Finish the song.
You did.
Director B.J. McDonnell, director of Hatchet 3, is no stranger to gore and brings it here in spades. With special makeup effects by Tony Gardner, McDonnell sprays hideous amounts of blood across the movie, and the gore kicks in right from the start. Studio 666 opens in 1993. Jenna Ortega, who seems to be becoming a modern scream queen, popping up in lots of horrors and creepy shows lately, crawls along the floor. Her thigh bone is sticking out of her leg, before she is brutally taken out with a hammer to the head, shown in all its gory glory. Cut to the modern day, and the Foo Fighters owe a new record to their manager, Jeremy Schill, played by Jeff Garlin. But lead singer, guitarist and songwriter Dave Grohl is running on empty. He can't get those creative juices flowing, and decides maybe they need something different, like a different recording space. Their manager arranges a stay at an Encino mansion as a retreat to get the juices stirred up and get the album underway. The only catch is that the estate was once host to another band back in 1993 who were looking to do the same kind of thing, but that ended in bloodshed when the band's leader turned to demonic forces and wound up killing his bandmates. We spend time getting to know the band: Dave Grohl, Taylor Hawkins, may he rest in peace, Pat Smear, Chris Shiflett, Rami Jaffee, and Nate Mendel. There's a lot of dicking around and banter between the guys. Thankfully, this movie isn't used as a platform to parade the Foo Fighters' back catalogue. I love them, but it's not what you want in a movie. In fact, the only time you get any of their previous work is as part of a joke. The curse resurfaces when Grohl stumbles upon an eerie basement and gets possessed by demonic music. It's not long before the Foo Fighters find themselves fighting with metaphorical and literal demons. The cursed song becomes the driving force behind the new album, and also an obsession of the now possessed Dave Grohl. It's a running joke throughout the movie that each time the band records, the song has gotten longer. It ends around 45 minutes long. This is a very fun, silly, schlocky movie, and while I could quite easily sit here singing its praises, it does have a few flaws. Sometimes the band's lines don't land very well. You can definitely tell they're musicians and not actors, though it also must be said that they seem to get more and more comfortable with the roles as the movie goes on. The kills can be a little too far spread out, with some of the other moments dragging a little long, and the last act of the movie definitely goes for too long. There's a few moments you'd think the movie is about to end, but nope, something else happens. It's like they wrote several endings, and rather than picking just the one, they decided to squeeze them all in there. It's still an enjoyable movie, don't get me wrong, especially if you like those corny kind of horror comedies. There are some great smaller parts and cameo roles too. Joining Jenna Ortega in the supporting cast is Leslie Grossman of American Horror Story fame, and John Carpenter himself makes a cameo appearance as a sound technician. There are a lot of other movie references too. I saw several nods to some horror classics, including at least 2 nods that I noticed to The Exorcist. I'll leave the others for you to discover yourself though. The dragged out ending does end up meaning that Studio 666's last act definitely doesn't finish nearly as strong as it starts. It's still a really fun, entertaining, gory movie though. The idea came from the mind of Dave Grohl himself, with writers Jeff Buller and Rebecca Hughes turning the idea into a screenplay that has a lot of fun with the idea of a long-running musician starting to run out of ideas, in what is really a super exaggerated story of the stress and fear that kind of creative block can have on someone in the band's position. I already loved the Foo Fighters, and I came out of this loving them even more, and in a completely different way and with a new appreciation for them. You could tell they had a lot of fun with this, and that's good, because so did I. And that's why I rate Studio 666 at a solid 4 out of 5. Next up, we have a 50-minute, I guess, short film from Marvel Studios with Werewolf by Night.
This Halloween, you can't escape the shock, the terror of Werewolf by Night.
Tonight, it is every hunter for themselves.
Good luck. I'll be rotting for you.
But one of you is a monster, masquerading as one of our own. I can't wait to find out what breed of evil you are. You'll wanna see this, darling.
Please don't do this. Death is coming for you!
Werewolf by Night.
I've just finished watching this film, and I'll start by saying I really enjoyed it. It was very refreshing for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. As this movie has literally just come out over the last day, I will be giving a spoiler-free review here, though I may talk about 1 or 2 things that were included in trailers, so consider this a semi-spoiler warning. Semi. Directed by Michael Giacchino, Werewolf by Night starts by letting us know that it is indeed within the known Marvel Cinematic Universe, or MCU. But with this new monstrous subject matter, it manages to still very much be its own thing, and really doesn't suffer with having to connect to the wider MCU in this story. Meaning you're not looking out for other certain characters and connections, you can just sit back and enjoy. Gael Garcia Bernal plays Werewolf Jack Russell. Yes, Marvel Comics named a werewolf Jack Russell, but that was back in 1977. Let's assume they were high and just thought it was a good joke at the time. By the end of the film, I think most of you will end up loving Jack. He's a very likeable character, so I'm interested to see how people take to him as more and more people watch it. Laura Donnelly plays Elsa Bloodstone, who, throughout her run in the comic books at least, has been called a comic book rip-off of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Again, no spoilers, but that doesn't translate into this project, and is another character I really enjoyed. Jack and Elsa have to do some teaming up, and that's about all I can say without spoilers, but I will say, and this isn't a spoiler because he's in the trailer, I was so happy to see Man-Thing appear in this movie. As well as a horror and Halloween nerd, I do love my comic books, and Man-Thing was always a favourite of mine, so seeing him finally in the MCU makes me really, really happy. Werewolf by Night definitely calls back to the classic horror movies like the Universal Monster and Hammer horror films. Playing out its runtime in mostly black and white, things like cue marks are added to the screen, and for the most part sets, effects and makeup are practical, with only a few understandable exceptions. The almost standalone feel of this movie means that it kind of plays by its own rules. There's a lot more gore than we'd see in normal Marvel movies, the camera lingers on blood splatter for longer, and it just adds to that feeling. It's safe to say that the MCU has been a little hit and miss since the Avengers defeated Thanos back in Endgame, but I think if more Marvel projects tried something a little more unique like Werewolf by Night has, and not worried so much about setting up the next project, then they may see people getting interested again. I can't say too much more without spoiling things, but I will say the few characters I've mentioned are perfectly cast. Burnell plays Jack Russell brilliantly, and paired with Laura Donnelly, the pair do a fantastic job as the lead characters of this film. Maybe I'm still on the hype train after just finishing this one, but I'm giving it a 4.5 out of 5. I genuinely enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I'm looking forward to this time next year, where I hope we see a return to either Werewolf by Night or another story of Marvel's monsters. And that's going to do it for this week, creeps. Be sure to come back next time as we check out some more great horror entries to the Wretched review. Welcome back, Hallowscreamies. Each week I dig through the rotting remains of the UK Halloween prop making group and pick away at it until I find the next amazing build that deserves a place in Props for Props. This week we've got a build I've patiently been waiting to give a shout out to. We've got a horse-drawn hearse as built by Nathan Murray. We've been very lucky in the UK Halloween prop making group as Nathan has been posting build updates throughout this project. Nathan started out with a horse-drawn cart that he found on Facebook Marketplace. He removed the benches and a few pieces from the frame before starting work on some new additions to the frame and adding a wooden base. Nathan went as far as to learn how to weld for this one. That's some real commitment to the haunt. Top job. In his next couple of updates we got to see that Nathan had added panelling and windows to the hearse, a coffin even now laid inside. Detailing was added along with a seat and skeleton driver, then the hearse was painted. This had all happened over the last month or so, until the latest update, where we got to see Nathan has relocated the hearse to its final resting spot in his front garden. More detailing has been added along with some really nice lighting, and the hearse just looks incredible. It's been really cool to see those update posts and see what you're doing with it next. I really can't wait to see the end result. If what you've got so far is anything to go by, Nathan, the final product is just going to be spectacularly phenomenal come Halloween night. Just amazing work. As I said before, I genuinely can't wait to see how this turns out. What an amazing prop to bring attention to Creeps. I've said it before, you've all really upped the game this year, so it's impossible for me to tell what's going to feature next time on Props for Props.
Terrifying tutorials.
We've got another set of great tutorials for you this week, Haunt Fiends. Starting this week off with a really cool build from My Kill Hobbies. Believe it or not, this tutorial teaches us how to build Stranger Things' Max Mayfield. Not just any prop of Max either. This is a prop of Max as she floats, about to meet her demise at the hands of Vecna. This is a 15-minute video, most of it is dedicated to building Max, and she's then hung up using fishing wire. The final product looks amazing, though once you know how to build the frame and how to hang the prop up, you can use this tutorial to build anyone or anything you'd like. Hell, you could go as far as to have a flying Superman if you want to, but that's not why we're here, is it, Creeps? If you wanted to go a little darker with it, you could contort the arms and legs of your prop so that it appears Vecna has already claimed his victim. It's a super fun build that I think would be of interest to a lot of people at the moment. Our second tutorial is a nice easy one from the Wicked makers, just showing us how to use beef netting, or mutton cloth to us in the UK, and turn it into a giant spider's web. This is a super simple one, mutton cloth and some good sharp scissors. Cut off a nice length, cut down the middle so that it's no longer tubular, stretch it out and cut a bunch of holes into it. It's one of those simple and effective ones that you always hear me say I love so much, and it's also one of the oldest home haunt tricks in the book. I normally use the little bags of cotton wool type stuff, and I've still got a few of those, but this year I am giving beef netting a try for the first time. We'll see how it goes. I'm not convinced that it's going to work that well for me just because I'm hopeless. But there you are. It's definitely a tutorial that's worth watching if you are wanting to use this stuff though. For our next tutorial, we're checking out a creepy scarecrow build from Monster Tutorials. I'm going to say this one isn't necessarily more advanced, but it does require some equipment we might not all have. The materials are simple in this 20-minute video. Pool noodles, a plastic pumpkin, some plastic pipe, and a couple of other bits that are put together and then painted. It's all assembled in a way that creates a corpse-like torso, and then the plastic pumpkin is modified and put in place. It's all painted up in a 3-part mix of paint, liquid latex, and distilled water before being placed on a cross and staked into the ground. This is another one of those tutorials that once you get your head around it, you could get really flexible with what you actually build. There's no reason you couldn't just swap the pumpkin for a skull, for example. There is the use of different types of paint guns and heat guns, hence my comment at the start of this entry, but it's a fun build to follow and the end result looks awesome. Again, we have another entry from the Wicked makers. This time it's not actually a build, but an awesome tutorial on how to give your store-bought tombstones a makeover. This includes looks at how to add better lettering, give them better details, and give them better supports than those pathetic plastic pegs that they come with. We're shown different options for how to upgrade the tombstones too, and while the tombstones used in this tutorial are big, roughly 36-inch ones, these are upgrades you can make to any foam tombstone. Definitely worth a watch if you're someone that's got like a cemetery or something similar going on. Lastly, we've got a tutorial from SKS Props, this time showing us how to turn a foam pumpkin into a monster. The tutorial itself actually shows you how to turn the pumpkin into a mimic, a creature from Dungeons & Dragons, but obviously any pumpkin monster is perfect for your home haunts, so I've included this on today's list. This is also yet another tutorial that you don't have to follow exactly. You've got all the freedom you like to modify this and make whatever monster you want. It's a great 13-minute video, though it's worth noting that this build does take a few days, as you'll be waiting on foam clay to dry. It's quite a simple build in that there isn't a huge amount of parts. It's basically cutting up a foam pumpkin, crafting whatever you like with the foam clay, and any other pieces you decide to use, and then painting them once it's all dried. The end result looks insane though, so it's definitely one to watch if you're after something new in terms of your pumpkin monsters. And that's our list, Haunters. There's some really impressive builds in this one. There's several I'd like to try myself. Next year's to-do list is growing more and more with each one of these segments I do, so I guess I better start saving for materials next year. Be sure to come back next time if you'd like to discover 5 more terrifying tutorials. Welcome back to the segment that I think in the future will be called Hallowscream Horrors. In this part of the show we play an audio horror for you sickos to enjoy, and maybe even take some inspiration from. The last 3 of these have been from the BBC's Fear on 4 programme, but this week I've delved into the world of Tales from the Crypt, in an audio episode that was originally produced for the Sci-Fi Channel's Seeing Ear Theatre show. Someone else will be introducing us to today's tale. I think I'll leave it to the Crypt Keeper himself. I hope you're familiar with him, creeps. Personally, I'm a big fan. When I realised he was going to be opening the show, I lost my head. You could say I was dying to meet him.
Welcome, fiends, to creepy scenes of eeriness, gore, unearthly moans from rattling bones behind each costume door. It's more than boo that'll frighten you. I long to hear your cries. You won't survive the tale that I've so ghoulishly devised. Dark and haunted, these undaunted tales from the Crypt. Greetings, boils and ghouls, and welcome to another eerie edition of our gory stories. Deadly delights and terrifying tales that only I, the Crypt Keeper, world's undisputed icon of ghoulish horror, know how to dig up. Ooh, hear that, kiddies? Those are mad dogs outside. People ask, Why don't I just shoot them? I did shoot them. That's what made them so mad. By the way, creeps, I was looking in the mirror the other day. I think I know now what they mean by the expression, if looks could kill. I slay me sometimes. Enough chit-chat. It's showtime, fright fiends. Time for one of my nasty little nuggets that's guaranteed to bring chills to your spine, cause you to break out in a cold sweat, and make the hair on the back of your neck stand up at attention. And that's not even the scary part. I call this macabre bit of mayhem by the fright of the silvery moon. I do hope you can survive it, kiddies. Hold on, Duster. Let me get it open.
You get out. Okay, Duster. Hang on. You're gonna rip through the screen door. There you go, boy. Whoa. Looks like some critter knocked over the garbage can. Now, you stay out of it, Duster. You hear? Good boy. All right. See you in a bit. You're gonna be one real dead eco-terrorist, I tell you. But where's my... Oh, damn, I missed him. Yeah, you keep running, you... Oh, my God. Oh, Duster.
Well, brace yourself. You know what he's gonna say. Yeah, I know it. Frank, that open mouth chewing is driving me crazy. Could you quiet it down? Sorry. And button up your shirt correctly. Who dresses you in the morning anyhow?
Who dresses me?
Half the time you don't even have the same colored socks on.
Oh, that's not true. They're both blue. It's just one got stripes, that's all.
Well, here we go. Tuck in your shirt, Frank.
Oh, sorry. How are you, Sheriff? Deputy?
Alec? Well, looks like you had some trouble last night.
Yeah, we had trouble, all right. Come on, follow me around to the back.
Your son Steve over that flu, Alec?
Oh, sure. Been over it for a week now. Nasty bug, though.
Tell me about it. My whole department sounds like a consumptive ward. Of course, that's only about 4 people.
Well, there's Duster. Found 2 more head of cattle dead, too.
My Lord.
Wow!
I'm sorry, Alec. Now, what did you see when you came out here?
Well, I didn't see all that much. It was new moon last night, too dark. I did make out somebody running away, though. It was somebody real small, too.
Small?
Yeah, I don't know, maybe 5 feet.
You sure?
Yeah.
Looks more to me like an animal got into your garbage. Look at all these chicken bones.
Ain't been having trouble with feral dogs over by Mascaro.
Will you look at that? What happened over there?
Whoever it was threw that garbage can at me. Put a nice big dent in the house, too.
So, he threw it about 10 feet, and you say he was little?
Look, Sheriff, you know as well as I do what happened here last night.
Okay, stop right there,
It was
Alec.
that goddamn eco-terrorist bitch. That's what happened.
Now, Alec, we've been over this before.
I mean, what right do those troublemakers have to go camping out by the lake anyway?
They have every right. It's public land.
Do you think they also have a right to tell us where to graze our cattle?
I didn't say that.
Sheriff. Alec, I'm going to take a closer look at the dog. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, when are you going to do something about her and the rest of those people? It's not like we're talking about the Sierra Club here. These are terrorists.
Listen, I know how you feel about the environmentalists, Alec.
No,
It's
you
just...
don't. You don't know what it's like coming home and finding cattle blood splashed all over your porch. You don't know what it's like to get death threats and to have your kids threatened.
Now, you listen to me. The threats around here haven't exactly been one-sided. If you're going to take the high moral ground, you better have your feet planted squarely on it.
I don't understand you, Sheriff. Your family's been in New Mexico for 3 generations. Why are you taking sides with these people? Well, what about us? We're the ones you should be worrying about.
Alec, I'm trying to be fair. There is nothing here that ties that woman to what happened last night. For now, I'm going to chalk this up to feral dogs. I mean, look at these chewed up chicken bones. What you're saying doesn't make any sense.
How does an animal lob a garbage can 10 feet, Sheriff?
How would a 5-foot female environmentalist do it? Now look, I have to get the Game and Fish Department to come over and pick up Duster. That way you'll know exactly what's what.
I don't want them to take my dog. My boy and I want to bury him.
Okay, if that's how you feel, they'll give you the carcass back when they're done. And I'm sorry about this, Alec. I really am.
If it wasn't them, then it's goons working for them. They're behind all those cattle mutilations. And I think you should start remembering which side your bread is buttered on, Sheriff.
All right, Alec. We'll see. Deputy, you ready? Come on.
Yes, sir.
If it wasn't them, then it's goons working for them. I swear, the cattle people blame those environmental groups for everything from cattle disease to global warming.
You know, Sheriff, I'll tell you what that dog carcass reminds me of.
Oh, Frank, don't you start.
Chalk another one up to chupacabras. That dog was butchered exactly the same way as all that livestock. Chupa just didn't have time to suck the blood out.
God's sake. Between local superstition, all that Roswell UFO happy-crappy, I'm fed up to the T. Did you hear that woman babbling about that comet last night? Every little flash in the sky has to be an alien craft.
Think about it. It's behaving just like any other predator that's close to people. Maybe it's finding out it's easier to eat leftovers in the garbage than it is to make a kill. Economy of energy. Besides, there's always the family dog for a little refreshment.
Frank, shut up before I unscrew your head. And tuck in your shirt. Yes, sir.
Linda, come on.
Please turn on the light. You know I don't like the dark.
Shh. Okay.
Will you stop shushing me? You're making me nervous.
Ow. I banged my foot.
So, turn on the light.
That's what I'm looking for. Here it is. Hi, Tango. Easy boy, it's only me. Hi, Juno.
Why are you so set on coming in here anyway?
More room. It's better than the back of that stinky old car. Besides, stables are cozy.
Says you.
God bless you. Now let's make our little nest. Would Madame care for the blanket over by the whirlpool, or perhaps by the sun deck?
I wish we had a whirlpool. Oh, God. This hay.
Oh, bless you. You poor baby. Is the hay making you sneeze?
I forgot my allergy pill this morning. And it's cold in here.
Oh, I'm sorry. But I can fix that.
What are you going to do? Build a fire in the... Steve, did you bolt that door?
I think so. It doesn't matter, baby. There's nothing outside except a big, beautiful, full moon.
Yeah, and your dad, if he decides to come in here.
Nah, he's still all worn out from what happened to Duster and the cattle. He's sound asleep by now.
You sure? Steve, are you... Steve, what's that?
I don't know. Some rats, maybe.
Rats?
Mice. Probably mice. Oh, man. There goes the light.
Great. Did the mice turn off the lights, too?
No, the light bulb blew. That's all.
Well, would you get a spare, please? It's almost pitch black in here.
Linda, that means I have to go to the house.
I want some light in here, Stephen. Let's go.
No, you stay here.
In the dark? With the rats?
Mice. You'll be okay. I just don't want my dad to wake up and find the two of us together, you know what I mean? I'll be right back.
Okay, but hurry.
All right. Ow, I hit my other foot.
Be careful.
You're the one who wanted me to hurry. What's wrong with the dark anyway? I'll be right back.
It's okay, Tango. I bet you guys don't like it in here at night either, huh? Well, I guess that's a yes. Oh my God! Stephen, that is not funny. You know I don't like to be groped like that. Now will you please go? Hey, that tickles. You are anxious, aren't you? Oh, and your hands are downright clammy. Stephen?
The battle between ranchers and the environmental activist group who call themselves the Children of Gaia continues here this afternoon in Las Luces. As you can see, the group is staging a large rally here in La Cruz National Park. I have Sarah Powell here, the leader of the group. Sarah, some of the ranchers say you and your people have been mutilating and poisoning cattle. What do you say to those allegations?
That is total nonsense and typical of the propaganda these ranchers have been spreading about us. The fact is they are letting sheep and cattle lay waste not only to their rangelands, but to public lands as well. They are overgrazing and destroying what is left of our wilderness.
Miss Powell, do you think that...
Look around you! The entire Upper Sonoran will be dust by the time they're through with it. They have no right to graze their cattle on public land.
Miss Powell...
And when we try to reason with them, they make sneak attacks like cowards on our people and our camp. Once and for all, it is time to stop them. One of the things people can do is not support them by eating meat.
So I assume, Miss Powell, that
if
you are...
If you eat meat, you are part of the problem. Help us stop them now. And sooner or later, no matter what they do to us, we will stop them.
Well, all right. Thank you, Sarah. That was Sarah Powell, leader of the Children of Gaia. This is Patricia Clark for the Southeast News Service.
Just let me lower this. The deputy likes to turn up the radio. Now, are you sure you told me absolutely everything, Steve?
I swear, that's all I saw. I went into the house to look for a spare light bulb, and I heard all the noise outside, and by the time I got back to the stable, the horses were loose, and Linda was just And she was just lying there.
For God's sake, Sheriff, if my boy could tell you, he would.
I know, Alec. Steve, I heard from my daughter that you and Linda had a quarrel a few days ago.
Well, yeah, we had a little bit of an argument, but it was no big deal. We were all made up one day later.
You weren't still angry at her or anything, were you?
No.
Now, wait a minute. What's that supposed to mean, Sheriff? You're not saying my boy was responsible for what happened.
Alec, all I'm saying...
First my cattle, then my dog, now a young girl attacked in my barn. It's those environmentalists and their...
Hey, everybody. I'm going out for coffee. Anybody want some? Sheriff?
No, not for me, Frank. I'm kind of busy.
Tea. Much healthier.
No, I don't think so.
Sure, I have a nice oolong.
I don't want any tea, Frank.
Or coffee?
No.
Huh? Okay, Sheriff.
That's a hell of a thing, accusing my son, Sheriff. Next thing you know, you'll be telling me he killed Duster and mutilated my cattle.
I'm not accusing him, Alec. I'm just going by the numbers here. I have to do that. It's part of my job, that's all.
Yeah, well, your job should be to investigate parties that are obviously guilty, not my son.
Room, you can't go. The sheriff's in a meeting.
Sheriff, do you even intend to come out to our
I'm
camp?
sorry, Sheriff. She just came banging through here.
That's okay, Frank.
Oh, by the way, I'm going out. You want any coffee or...
No!
Your thing, Sheriff?
Does it matter to you at all that somebody totally trashed our camp?
Well, look who's back from her little photo op.
Hey, there's no reason why you ranchers couldn't have been there too. Oh, by the way, that was quite a little light show you got on for us the other night. What the hell do you think you were doing, buzzing us with that helicopter, huh? You were terrorizing the people in my camp again.
What are you talking about? The only helicopter pilot around these parts is the sheriff.
Oh, really?
I don't have time for this. Look, Miss Powell, I've got one full-time deputy, one part-time secretary, and a whole lot of trouble.
Uh-huh. Gee, well, you'd think those guys on the town council could rake up a little coin for an extra deputy, huh? Plenty of money in this place, that's for sure.
Listen, honey, why don't you pack it all in a bag and get the hell out of Dodge while you still can?
Alec.
Oh, is that a threat, Mr. Rancher? Oh, look, I'm scared.
Miss Powell.
Well, do you really think you and your thugs can run us off that easily? You think I don't know who trashed our camp?
Thugs? Well, you got a lot of damn nerve, lady, after the crap you people pull.
Alec, there's no need...
Oh, yeah? Like what?
Like what about all that mutilated livestock?
Oh, please! You don't think we're gonna go around mauling cattle, huh?
What about my son's girlfriend, Linda McConnell?
Dad, can I go home now?
1 minute, son.
That kid that got attacked, what the hell are you asking me for?
She got torn up the same way as the livestock, as my dog Duster. This stuff all started when you people camped out at the lake. Who knows? Maybe you're turning your dogs loose on us at night.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we got the Doberman gang holed up in our camp. We communicate with them telepathically and send them out on missions at night.
Don't push me,
Oh,
woman.
will you listen to what you're saying? And why the hell are you always pointing the finger at us, huh? What about what the army is doing out there? Maybe this animal belongs to them, huh? I'd say maybe it's a cougar or a wolf, except you ranchers wiped them all out.
Miss Powell.
Listen, honey, the dinosaurs are extinct too, and it's just as well.
Alec.
As long as you got yours, screw the rest of the world.
Hey, you bet that's how I feel.
We're the ones who deserve extinction, not them.
Well, you got that half
Oh,
right.
well, screw you, all right?
Hey, you can't push me around. My poor dog was defenseless, but I'm not.
Oh, violence. Forget violence, you jerk!
Oh, yeah?
No, come on, stop it, you two. Stop it. Either of you do that again, I'll lock you both up. I want everybody out of my office right now, and I do mean right now. I will come out in 5 minutes and meet you outside. Yes, Frank?
Are you sure you don't want...
Get out of here! Well, another day, another dollar. Pass me the handset, Frank.
Sure.
This is Unit 3 base. We're coming back from our domestic dispute.
Glad to hear that, Unit 3. What you hit Bill with this time?
No bloodshed for a change, just a lot of yelling and broken furniture. We're gonna stop by the environmentalist camp at the lake, check up on those terrorist charges. Yeah, looks like we need gas, too. Should be back in a couple hours. Unit 3, over and out.
Yeah, well, we need all the gas because we're always rushing to domestic disputes. Sometimes I wish that old woman would just make up her mind and kill him and save us all the time and the gas.
Oh, no, Frank. See, if you were married, you'd take all this in stride.
I don't think anybody would take being married to Millicent in stride, Jim.
Whoa! Whoa, look out!
What the hell was that?
I don't know. Give me the flashlight.
Jim, don't! Wait a minute.
What?
Just wait a minute.
Frank, give me the damn flashlight. Whatever it was fast.
Hang on, I'm coming with you. See anything?
Oh, nothing.
Looks kind of like a monkey, a baboon or something. Scaly baboon, that's what it looked like.
Yeah. It was something on two legs, all right, but
what?
Frank.
It's on the roof of the car!
Look out!
Oh, Jim! Oh, help me! Oh, help me! Oh, God! Oh, God!
Frank!
Oh, Lord! Oh, Lord!
Easy now, stay still.
I'm done, man! I'm done!
Frank, stop it! Listen to me! Stay still! Oh, my God.
Jim, my hand hurts. It hurts real bad. Oh, no. It tore off my hand! Oh, God, it can't be! My hand is gone, Jim!
Stop moving! I have to get a tourniquet on you. I'm going to get the first aid kit in the back.
Oh, God! You gotta find it. You gotta help me find it, Jim! Do you hear me?
Easy, Frank. It'll be okay. Help you find what?
You gotta help me find my hand!
Your hand. Oh, God, look, you're bleeding out here, buddy. We gotta take care of that first. Oh, man. This may hurt, Frank. I can't help that.
I can stick it back on, can't I? You gotta find it!
Hold on, Frank. Let me get this on you.
Ow! Damn it, that hurts!
I know. I'm sorry. I just have to make it tight.
Oh, God damn it! Did you shoot the bastard?
No,
Did you shoot it?
No, it was right on top of you. Okay. Okay, that's done. Now let's get you in the car. Here we go.
Oh, no. I feel like I'm made of jelly.
I know. Just hang on. Almost there.
Did you see his eyes? Did you?
Now watch your head.
Oh, man, that hurts.
Oh, careful. Base, this is Unit 3.
What's up, Unit 3?
Look, call into the hospital at Grants and get air rescue. Get a medevac. Frank's hurt real bad and we gotta chopper him out of here. Our position is... The windshield, watch out! The whole thing smashed in. Are you cut?
Oh, my God!
Jesus, how did it get on the hood?
Shoot it! Shoot it!
Damn, that's ugly.
Oh, that's my hand! The bastard's eating my hand!
All right, that's it. Cover your face, Frank. Suck on this. Give it a little incentive to stay away.
That was my hand. It was.
Hang on. We're swinging round.
Oh, Jim. Oh, no.
You'll make it, Frank. You're going to be okay.
It's on my window. It's on my side, Jim.
Jesus, what is it? Bulletproof? Oh, you want his other hand, you bastard. All right, come on.
He's getting this from my window.
Hang on, I'm going to shake it off. Yes! Yes, I did it!
Run over him! Run over him, Jim!
Don't worry, I got him right in my sights. Oh, no. We never got to that gas station. No. Come on. Come on! Oh, crap! Empty. Base, this is Unit 3. Over. Damn, now something's wrong with the radio. Base, this is Unit 3. Over. The radio's dead. That's impossible. The battery is okay. How can the radio be dead? isn't happening.
Oh, jeez. Now what?
What's that? What's that noise? Is it an earthquake?
Oh, okay. Game over. I'm dying, and now I'm hallucinating.
Are you seeing that big thing in the sky?
Yeah.
So am I. Wild animals, things coming out of the blue. Let's get the hell out of here. Damn it. Damn it. It's landing. It's coming down. What is that? Oh, no. Who is that? They're driving right up to it.
I knew it! 2 ranches are not going to drive me out. Do you hear me up there?
Oh, for the love of... Sarah, get back in your car, you idiot!
Sheriff, I have been following this thing for half a mile. It is incredible. Look at it. Look at the size of it. Those ranchers hired that thing to terrorize our camp again.
Sarah, it's not the ranchers. Turn around. Get back in your car. Take Frank with you. Go back into town and get help. What the... Another car? Who's... It's Alec.
I caught you this time, Miss Environmentalist. I saw you speeding past me on the highway. You were guiding your flying pals in. They're gonna parachute in reinforcements.
Guiding them? You know damn well.
Quiet! Get back in your cars. Now! There's a wild animal on the loose and we don't know what the hell that thing is hovering overhead. Help me carry Frank. Move!
Hello? Hello out there?
Where's that coming? Is that thing talking?
There's really no need for alarm. We're just here to pick up our daughter's pet.
There you are, Cleo. Bad Cleo, bad girl.
Oh my God, what is that?
Whatever it is that attacked Frank.
We're terribly sorry. She accidentally got out on our last trip here, and we intend to keep her on a leash from now on. Is that right, dear? Yes, Mommy. Yes.
Pet? What is... Of course, it was just a pet, but it was in the wrong environment. That's what's been eating the cattle.
I don't know about that, but you were blaming me for flying damn helicopters over your camp.
Oh, will you shut up? This is a great moment.
I told you. I knew it was a damn monster. Nobody listens to me. And can somebody drive me to the hospital?
Here, Cleo. Here, girl. She's in the truck to me,
All right, then. Well, sorry for all the trouble.
Now hold on! Do you have any idea how much harm that thing caused? There's a kid in a hospital looking like a jigsaw puzzle with some pieces missing. My deputy lost his hand. I don't even know how many of our animals that thing killed, and the whole town has been at each other's throats because of this.
Oh dear, really? Sorry for the trouble. Cheerio!
Sir! Sir, wait, sir!
My God! That was amazing!
Sheriff, do you know what this means? We really aren't alone in the universe.
But we're together on this planet. Like it or not. All of us. Meaning we've got to get along a little better with each other. Now shake hands, you two. Help me with Frank and let's get back to town and tell him what we saw.
Well, thank goodness that's over.
Yes.
Cleo, oh, I missed you ever so much. Come here, girl. What's a tickle?
No.
Uh-oh. Mummy?
Yes, darling.
I think Cleo had her puppies.
What? Let me see. Oh, yes, there she did.
Papa?
Well, don't worry, dear. They are born totally innocent.
Yes, and they do breed rather quickly.
Oh, so they do. However, they aren't going to be happy about this. Back there.
What is it?
There's something on my leg, Sheriff.
What?
There's something. Ow! Ow, God!
Hello?
Hi, Paula, this is Terry.
Terry, I was just going to call you. Any word from your brother?
It's the strangest thing. I've been calling and calling for 2 days, and the phones don't seem to be working. And when I call information in New Mexico to find out what the trouble is, it just keeps disconnecting.
How weird. I haven't heard a thing on the news, so I just don't know.
Well, I'll keep trying, but I'm very worried.
We're sorry, your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please check the number and dial again.
Wow! That episode gave me a psychological breakthrough. I believe I just got in touch with my inner creep. Personally, I think our talented cast deserves a hand, especially the deputy. I've heard of issuing a hands-off policy, but I think those extraterrestrial pets went a little too far. One thing's for sure, kiddies. We're not alone in the universe. We're being visited all the time by odd-looking, scaly little slimy creatures with bulging eyes, big heads, long, skinny necks, and wiry, thin arms that drag along the ground. I'm getting all turned on just thinking about it. Well, creeps, until next time, when I whip up another deadly dish of frightening fricassee, I leave you with this little-known historical fact. 1,400 years ago today, 3 knights of the Round Table were boiled in oil. And they were delicious. Bon appetit!
Tales from the Crypt by the Fright of the Silvery Moon was written by Raquel Starace, adapted from the story in the EC comic book Tales from the Crypt, originally published by William M. Gaines. By the Fright of the Silvery Moon featured John Ritter as Sheriff Jim Thornton, Robert Pruitt as Deputy Frank File, Peter Waldron as Alec, Ann Bobby as Sarah, Bang Spees as Stephen, Kate Sensis as Linda, Alyssa Honeycutt as the newswoman, Leah Applebaum as Terry, Larissa James as Paula, and John Cassier as the Crypt Keeper. By the Fright of the Silvery Moon was produced and directed by George Czar. Associate producer Larissa James. Sound engineering by Leonard Hospodor. Sound design by David Shin and Paul Goodrich. Additional Crypt Keeper material by Jack Wall. Tales from the Crypt series theme composed by Danny Elfman, with lyrics by Jack Wall. Theme arranged and performed by Ohad Talmor. Series story editor Tony Daniel, and series announcer Alyssa Honeycutt. Executive producers Jack Wohl, Brian Smith, Richard Donner, David Geiler, Walter Hill, Joel Silver, and Robert Zemeckis. This has been a production of Sci-Fi.com Seeing Ear Theater.
The crypt is closed.
Well, would you look at that, my Hallowscreamies? We've reached the end of another episode. You may have noticed that my weekly release became fortnightly. Honestly, I just couldn't keep up with it. It was difficult doing weekly ones. There just wasn't enough time between work, kids, and other commitments that I've got just to get it all done. So I went with fortnightly, which means you've got 2 shows left for this season. The next Hallowscream will spread its bat wings and fly across the airwaves on October 22nd. Then we have the Hallowscream Halloween Spooktacular. Doesn't roll off the tongue all that well, but we're going with it. That will be released from the dungeons on October 29th. Thank you for listening, guys. We have a tiny audience here at Hallowscream, but I really appreciate every single one of you. All 2 of you. Blows my mind that even just a few people listen to and enjoy something that I somehow manage to throw together every couple of weeks. Genuinely, thank you. Now the soppy mush is out of the way, I'm going to go get some shut-eye before the mad rush starts over the next few weeks. So, until next time, stay scary.